Hello, everybody. Hello. Hopefully you're all having a good one. All right, let me leave that on just a little bit. Just a tad. How's it going, everybody? How are you guys doing? Let me pop out the chat here. All right, well, today we got patch notes. Let me see. Where did I put patch notes? All right, there we go. All right, cool. Let me see. All right, well, let's wait a little bit so, you know, people can pile on in here. I'll clear a few echoes on this guy. But based off what I've seen, definitely feeling pretty good about Bleed Hammers, chat. Definitely feeling pretty good about Bleed Hammers. We'll go over that in a bit. How are you guys doing today? Oh, let me shuffle this playlist. Why can't I hit this guy? What in the... Okay, maybe it's the MTX. Maybe that's throwing me off. Hold up. That was stupid, man. Talk about... Oh, man. All right. Cool. Cool. I still don't know how I feel about chains, about chain hammers. Like, it throws the hammers really fast. Main thing I'm most interested in when it comes to the chain hammers is nodes like this. So 50% more damage, very good for ailments. You know, you get to pass that off onto you get to pass that on to the bleed stacks as you apply them. 50, so we get 75% more, 50% more, 50% more, plus one chain. You don't throw extra projectiles, but, right, because we still just throw them one at a time, we gain 10% more damage for each projectile we would have thrown. Right? So that's also why we throw the hammers like super fast. Right? So we gain extra attack speed per extra projectile, and we gain extra damage per extra projectile, and this is where we start to ricochet, right? It's where we start to ricochet and hit different things, and then we can gain different chains. So we would have gained 4 extra projectiles here and then double it, right? So this would have been 8 projectiles. So damage per extra projectile. So let me think. So if it's plus 4 projectiles, I'm assuming it counts the first projectile we throw. So maybe that's 5 projectiles, and then you double it with Avatar, which causes it to be a Nova, right? It causes it to be a Nova for the hammers. So, yeah, if that's 10, if it doubles the projectiles, this counts as 1, and then we add 4. So then 10, so if we look at this, so what is this? 90% more damage per extra projectile that we would have done. Since we don't throw extra projectiles, I got to double check the math on that. But yeah, so I'm thinking this could be like the most damage per stack of bleed, but I really do like spiral hammers. The thing is, spiral hammers, spiral hammers is going to be a bit interesting. Hold up. Wait, can we do spiral and ricochet? That's probably not good. Like, if we could. Because you still don't gain extra. This could be interesting. I've never actually seen this. Can you do spiral and chain? I mean, we're going to be giving up a ton of damage, though. We also lose the ability to pierce because of this node. So basically, even if they're spiraling, they're going to hit and then disappear. All right. Well, let's take a look real quick. Thank you so much for the likes over on YouTube, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to assume that some level here. No, wrong one. I'm going to assume that some level of patch notes has been investigated by you guys, right? Also, I'm not going to really cover all of the patch notes because I play this game a lot, but I mostly play Sentinel. So I think most people, if they're tuning in to watch me cover patch notes, they're probably going to want to hear my thoughts on Sentinel, which sadly there's not a lot. There's not a lot there. Actually, not sadly. I think that's good. I think that's good to an extent. But let's go over this. They've added the 10th chapter. We knew this was coming. We're going to continue to hunt down Apophis as they're going through the ancient era. and it looks very nice. This jungle scape and everything there, it looks very nice. I'm looking forward to it. Added 17 new campaign zones. So I'm thinking if it's a campaign zone, at least some of these is going to translate into monolith echoes. So a little bit more variation. Added 28 new enemies and variations of many existing ones. Very exciting. Completing Chapter 10 will give your character an additional... Here, is this distracting? I could turn this off. Completing Chapter 10 will give your character an additional +1 in all attributes. This stacks with the bonus from completing Chapter 9. So this is going to be an additional +1 to all attributes. My plan was to play through the entire campaign. I'm not going to be trying to race and get to monoliths as fast as possible. My plan was to get to campaigns. It was to just play through the entire campaign. You know, just kick back, relax, play through the campaign. So completing Chapter 10, I think, will be pretty exciting. Though I am a little tempted to just skip to monoliths, find a temporal sanctum key, go back, skip to Chapter 9, do all that. The thing is, I think I would rather just grit my teeth, fight through Lagon, and do that instead of looking for instead of just, you know, hoping to find a temporal sanctum key pretty quick. Last Epoch, Beneath Ancient Skies Primal Hunts. So we've already really heard about this, but I'll go over it for a little bit. Campaign zones and Monolith of Fate echoes, excluding quest echoes and arena echoes, now have a chance to spawn either a mysterious rift or a torn rift. Continue with the Primal Hunt to eventually earn primordial uniques and primordial exalted items. Here's the thing. After seeing a good bunch of the primordial uniques that are coming to the game, I am now even more of the opinion that primordial exalted items look like they just don't really have a place. Like, you can choose one of these or one of the primordial uniques. The uniques look absolutely bonkers. And they cover a multitude of builds. Now, granted, they are pretty, you know, they are a bit narrow in scope. Hold up. I think I had from friend of the channel, Frozen Sentinel. I think let me see if I can pull up his video. He had a link. Oh, actually, no, wait. It would just be in my history, wouldn't it? History. I'll bring this over here. Yeah, so it would just be in my history, right? Oh. Okay. Can I zoom in on this? Okay, cool. So here's a list of the uniques. Sorry that there was a bit of a pause there. Here's a list of the uniques that are coming to Last Epoch. Hey, my guy, when does Season 3 drop? On Thursday, Andrew. It drops on Thursday, August 21st. So less than a week. So the thing is, there's just so many like really good primordial uniques, and you can either have one primordial unique or one primordial exalted. And everybody's like, well, the uniques look kind of narrow. So for the builds that don't need a primordial unique, you can go with a primordial exalted. Here, after seeing this list of items, here's what I think. I think the only time you're going to see a primordial exalted is you don't have a primordial unique that suits your build yet, because there is a bunch of them, right? There is a bunch. So I honestly thought this ring might be kind of cool. Honestly, this is actually one of the more uninteresting primordial uniques now. You count as part of a set. Oh, okay, cool. Look at this. Less spell mana costs. Less mana. Well, oh, so you have less mana. Okay, that might not be as good. You cooking up another hammer build? I played the hell out of yours this last league. Yeah, Andrew. So I'm actually going to be doing another bleed hammers build. And what one thing we were doing, Afia, thank you for the raid. Wait, where's the game? One thing we are practicing with right now, Andrew, is doing chain hammers. Right? Because not everybody likes the spirals, especially with the walls. So I've been practicing doing some chain hammers. Basically, you hit an enemy and then it kind of chains around, right? How's it going, Afia? Welcome on in, man, and welcome on in, Raiders. Hopefully you're all having a good one. So I've been practicing with this. I still think spiral's the way to go, right? But I think I'm gonna offer this as an alternative, and the reason being, real quick, the reason why I'm doing that is there's a new primordial unique pair of gloves right here. I think you can see that. Yeah, called Carrion of Creation. Yeah, you get anywhere from 100 to 150% chance to inflict bleed on hit. 100% of ignite, frostbite, shock, time rot, damned, and poison chance are converted to bleed chance. Everything to bleed, yeah. Oh, you're not going to derail the stream. Yeah, here you go. Andrew's asking just to quickly show what his chain look like. EHG has a bleed bias. Well, here's the thing. I had already told myself I was going to play bleed hammers again. Right? So it then kind of chains around, but here's the thing. You're stuck to one hammer. Right? You get a lot of attack speed with it, but you're stuck with one hammer at a time. And if it hits an enemy, it'll chain to nearby enemies and then despawn. So this gives you a little bit more control, but I feel like you're more prone to getting rushed now. But the chain effect does help. Right? The chain effect does help. Also, you're going to do more damage per hammer with chain, but you lose the benefit of them all going into a spiral and possibly hitting the same targets multiple times. Right? Now, I know this looks a little uninteresting, but this character is level 80. This is solo character found. I like being a whirlwind of bleeding. Same here, Andrew. I really like that. Skelly Pop Necro. That's going to be good, Afia. I did as well. So I'm going to go with that, but I'm trying to come up with an alternative for people who don't want the whirlwind, because I did get some disappointed pushback saying, hey, all my hammers are going into a wall. And I'm like, yeah, unfortunately, that's just something I've gotten used to. Obviously, it was pretty bad in Tombs and Cemeteries, but I still think you'll be fine. All right. Let's get back over here. So there's an item in the game now called Carrion of Creation. Chance to inflict bleed on hit. You convert ignite, frostbite, shock, time rot, damned, and poison chance all to bleed chance. So the main one that stuck out to me is ignite. right? It's really easy to get Ignite on Paladin. When you kill an enemy, you have a chance, 25 to 47% chance, to explode with primordial blood, dealing physical damage to others around it. When you kill the enemy, it has chance to explode. Primordial blood gains percentage chance to inflict bleed on hit per stack of bleed on the enemy killed, up to 20. So I haven't come around to check out all the new things. We'll do that tomorrow. I'm aware I checked just a couple of changes, and it seems like it's going to be buffed up crazily. Yeah, dude, no, there's so many good things. So this is a bit of a tangent that I have been going on, but essentially there is so many good uniques here that I find it very hard to believe that I'm gonna ever, instead of taking one of these, want to take a primordial gore paladin incoming. That's right. I'm gonna find it hard to believe that I'm gonna want to take a primordial exalted over one of these. There's 25 of these things. Like, take a look at this. Mountain shield, endurance, block effectiveness, plus 3 to 4 to strength skills, plus 10 to 16 to strength. After you use a movement skill, you attack up to 3 nearby enemies with vengeance. Hey, what up, Pan? Can be mixed with sets. This is true. They can. Block chance while preparing to riposte. You and your enemies have 20 to 42% increased area for melee area skills. This is a great shield, man. This is a great shield. Extra block chance while preparing to riposte. Last bear exalts for the free 30 strength. Yeah, you can go for that. I still... I would want to see sets buffed in a meaningful way. But you can get another 300% freeze chance instead. Freeze chance. Yeah, T8s are weird. Yeah. What up, GD Watts? And what I'm assuming any affix can be a T8 affix. Okay, so we now that we've been permanently derailed here, hold please. Oh. All right, so let's get back to T8% health affixes. Sure, I could see them being interesting, but I mean, for the most part, who knows? You know, maybe. But choosing a T8 affix over... Oh, here, let me give you a shout out real quick, Afia. Thank you very much for the raid. Thank you so much for the raid, Afia. I appreciate it. So, if I had to choose between one of those primordial uniques or a T8 affix, there's also the set unique ring. Sure, but that's a primordial unique ring. You could use that, but now you don't have the T7. Now you can't use the T8s. Now, if you're really in on sets, then yeah, it could be really cool. But again, that's another example of that's a cool looking ring there. Yo, Savicus, thank you so much for the 5 months. Welcome back. Yes. You can either only have a primordial unique or a primordial exalt. You can't have both. That's why every example you give, I'm like, cool. Those... Yeah, I mean, like, every example you give, it's like, yeah, no, I don't see too many scenarios where I'm going to use a primordial exalted. There is so many of those uniques, and there's a lot of just generically good primordial uniques. Like, I find myself just kind of going, yeah. I mean, they even have items in here. Because like one thing that gets mentioned a lot is, oh, well, what if you take, what if you get plus to a skill, right? Like a class skill that's really important. Well, look at this. Like, there's a shield that gives you +3 to +4 to strength skills, which for Sentinel is that's going to be most of your skills. On top of that, you get, free T6, T7, strength to go with it. Like, yeah, or you can go for this wand right here. It gives you increases your intelligence skills, or you can go for this bow, which, I mean, this could be pretty niche depending on your rogue build, but +4 to dexterity skills. There's even one that I saw where this one +1 to fire, +1 to physical. If you have an exalted weapon in your offhand, its stats have 90 to 100% increased effectiveness. Hi, how's it going? I think there's a couple. There's one that gives you like, skill level stats from legendary affixes have 50% increased effect. Now this says legendary affixes, so I'm assuming that. Now, do they mean legendary, like? I guess what I'm trying to think is, would that be class affixes that are on uniques that are now legendary? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Can't wait to play Beastmaster or Lich. They're going to be really cool, Rick. I'm planning on playing Lich for sure, and maybe a Beastmaster next season, but I'm starting off as Sentinel because, hey, it's me. Yeah, skill level stats from legendary affixes have 50% increased effect. So, yeah, if you have like a Titan Heart with +4 Rive, you put this on, boom, it's 50% more effective. Lethal Concoction. Oh, okay. Wait, no. You can't slam the T8. Now, maybe... Yeah, you can't slam the T8 onto a regular unique. Again, the T8 exalted affixes are just, it's just like, they could be so cool, but now they're just living in the shadow of all of this. Look, +1 to +2 to all skills. When a hit leaves a boss or champion below 40% health, you summon a Rift Beast. Look at this. Like, to the people who are saying, yeah, but what if you got a T8 class affix? What if you just had a T7 class affix and then you use this amulet, this fossil amulet right here, +1 to 2. And now you also have the chance to just summon a Rift Beast. Oh, there is a plus that. Oh, so they do have a dagger that gives you increases to dexterity. Okay. I mean, I cannot think of a single use case where I'm like, oh, I want that instead of a T8 Exalt, man. Like, The only way I would do this now is if I needed every single affix on every exalted. No uniques would work for me, and I guess not. Like I personally. Make exalts and competitives more competitive. I mean, I suppose if you went with this wing, but there goes your T8, man. It's just, Oh man, it's just it's a little disappointing. Okay, let's get back to the let's get back to the patch notes. For those who have been waiting, thank you. I'm going off on tangents here. So we're back to the patch notes. First time you find a rift. Oh, here, I need to make sure that YouTube chat is open. They want you to try all of them. Yeah. I think the biggest thing is how hard it is to get these primordial uniques. Hey, I'm just trying to figure it out. Every theory build I've made so far has had a primordial unique. Exactly. Like, I don't think there's a single... Well, no, I don't want to say never, but I don't think... Yeah, at this point now, after seeing all these primordial uniques, it's like, what's the point of the primordial exalted? Unless, hold up, you really want a primordial unique, but you haven't found it yet, or you don't have one that is better, like whatever version of the primordial unique is better than the effectiveness you would get out of a T8 exalt until that happens. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, chat? Like, you're using the T8 exalted until you get the primordial unique that you want with good rolls and stats and all that. I could see that. But exactly, they're placeholders. That is the best case scenario in my mind for T8 primordial exalteds. They are placeholders. All right, let's continue reading. The first time you find a rift, it will be a mysterious rift. When you use the rift, you will be taken back to the ancient era to just outside the entrance of a new cave. Side zone. Because these caves are new side zones, you will not find any rifts in Echoes that have a tomb or cemetery. So, one thing that happened a lot here in Season 2, we found a ton of tombs everywhere. Like, I swear, I feel like every other Echo I loaded into, there was a tomb. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I actually got used to just ignoring them. It just got to the point of like, yeah, I'd rather just complete the Echo and move on. Instead of doing the tomb. So now we'll probably end up seeing less tombs. Cemeteries are all obviously going to be their own, like, cemeteries are their own thing, right? Cemeteries are their own, like, Echo type. So if you're in a cemetery, you're obviously not going to be finding one of these guys. Ancient era, a rift, a mysterious rift. You're not going to be finding one of them. At the cave entrance, you'll be greeted by Scarven Bloodhorn, a friendly Wingari, who will explain what lies inside the cave, yada, yada, yada. You will fight the Rift Beast. You will control the evolutions. You can... It feels kind of like what they might have wanted the Nemesis system to be, but they didn't have the tech. So now that Nemesis is in the game, they didn't feel like updating Nemesis. So they've actually gone with this whole, sort of Pokemon thing. Yeah, I mean, this seems pretty cool. I'm fairly confident that you guys are aware of this system, so I'm not going to really belabor the point that much. If you are not, feel free to speak up. I can circle back and we can check out something else. I like they're stacking similar systems with different results. Yeah, that way you still got some familiarity. Primordial exalted items are created by crafting the new Rune of Evolution. Using a Rune of Evolution on an item with at least one T7 affix will turn one random T7 affix into a T8 and seal it, freeing up an additional affix slot. T8 affixes will have between 50 to 100% additional effectiveness. Continuing on into the campaign, they've reworked some of the side zones. Architect Lyeth now drops cold and resistance shards. This is not as useful for something like Paladin, but It's good for a lot of other classes, especially if you haven't really found any cold and resistance shards. You're going to need this for Lagon. And I imagine a lot more people are going to be playing through the campaign now, at least this time around, just so they can get to chapter 10 faster. Because the alternative would be go to monos, wait until you find a key that allows you to skip, and then skip Lagon and go for it that way. I think it's just going to be faster to fight Lagon. Love the little things, but did you notice how good the new engine looked? It looks really good. Like in game, it looks really good, and I think we have the engine update, but all the cool textures and everything are gonna be with this season 3 update. It's gonna look even better. Like, it's been looking pretty good the past, I don't know, what's it been, like a couple weeks, month even, in game. Like, it's been looking really nice. Like, just the lighting and everything. I like the fact that we're going to be able to control the lighting on some of the effects. They said this is coming into the patch, so we're going to have more control over the performance of the game. I'm very excited about that. All right, let's go back over here. Monolith upgraded whatever, anyone in the party, whatever. Yeah, I rarely play with anybody else, but anyone in the party will have their quest echoes completed as long as they have enough stability to start the quest echo. Added 3 new woven echo types based upon the new Rift Beast system. Okay. Rampant Coast, Bloodline Glade, Nesting Grove. I wonder if they've removed any. Slay a pack of randomly evolved Rift Beast companions to retrieve the primordial exalted items they guard. Each of which has a primordial champion affix. I missed this part. So that's how we can get primordial champion affixes, because if you didn't know, champion affixes are sealed. Perry! What? Perry with the raid. What's up, Perry? How's it going? Hey, what's up in Carry On? Hey, man, what's going on, chat? What's up, guys? Welcome on in. I've been doing great, Perry. I've been doing great. Thank you so much for the raid. Hopefully you're doing well. The patch notes are nuts. Yeah, we're going over it. Obviously, I'm going to be going over Sentinel's changes, but I'm kind of rereading these. I was at work when I read these, so I missed some stuff like this one right here, Bloodline Glade. This is how we can get primordial champion affixes. This could be an interesting thing. I don't think primordial exalted, even with the champion affix, is going to replace a primordial unique, in my opinion. Like, the primordial uniques just look so strong that primordial exalteds, even with the champion affixes potentially, I think they're placeholders. Slay a rampantly evolved Rift Beast with a crystallized heart to unlock the ability to evolve your own Rift Beast beyond normal limits. Lineages, I missed that. Rift Beast lineages beyond the normal limit. I think this is one of those things I would have to do it. I would have to play just to kind of get an idea of what it's like. Nesting Grove, protect the Rift Beast nests to spread Rift Beast encounters to surrounding echoes. Okay. Cannot add Rift Beast encounters to arena echoes, woven echoes, or cemeteries of the erased. Okay. So this is a way to kind of guarantee that you'll run into Rift Beasts more often. You do one of these, and it can only be applied to normal echoes. All right. Did you guys read over the notes as well? Better than their original function? Yeah, true. True. That's right, GD. Glyph of Envy has been reworked. It no longer unpredictably changes the item to siphon stability to a timeline. Note that the new temporal keystone detailed down below can be used to add stability directly to a timeline. It now reforges the subtype of an item into another subtype with the same item type and class restrictions when adding or upgrading an affix. Maybe I'm just dumb, but I would have to see this like work to kind of get an idea of what it means now. It reforges the subtype of an item into another subtype. Okay, so it can't go from scepter to sword. It would just go from sword to a different kind of sword. A new item has been introduced named a temporal keystone in the Echo Web UI. There's a button to the bottom right of the stability bar that lists your current number of temporal keystones. So you get a bad base, you change it, that's all. Okay. And we no longer siphon stability, right? That's what the temporal keystone's used for now. If pressed, one will be consumed and the current timeline will be granted 150 to 210 stability. Okay. So if you get a good item, but with a base that you don't want, you can now change it with this. That could be interesting. And then you gain stability with these keystones. Harbingers now have a chance to drop. Added 6 new monolith echo zones based on chapter 10. Oh, that's cool. You know. Increase the area level of most pre-90 normal timelines in the monolith of fate. So the levels are going up. Honestly, this is probably because there's a new chapter, right? So they're expecting people to be, assuming they've played through the entire campaign now, to be coming to monos, and they're going to maybe be a little bit higher level than what level 58 would be expecting. So Fall of the Outcast being level 62, now being level 66, level 70, so on and so forth. That makes sense. But it looks like the Dragon timeline. The Dragon timeline, I guess, is still level 85, and then it's still level 90 monos. LE crafting is the GOAT. No offense to PoE, but I don't want to do that anymore. I've never crafted in PoE, so I'll have to take your word for it. I never made it that far. I played a long time ago, before I was playing LE. The first Harbinger for the Forgotten Knights quest now always spawns in the first completed level 90 timeline. I wonder what that's going to do. I wonder what this is going to do to... excuse me. Does this mean that we're going to hit empowered monoliths faster if we kill the first Harbinger after we complete our first level 90 timeline? Huh. Add a text that lists the total corruption gain for Echo rewards and increase your corruption from more than one source. Players can no longer take damage from enemies while in Echo of a world between monolith echoes. Right-clicking a quest echo or timeline boss in the top left of the monolith will immediately start it. Portaling between monolith echoes and offline should now be smooth. Undead hydras can no longer follow the player into a tomb. Yeah, I suppose that makes sense, GD. Dungeon tier unlocks are now shared between different characters. Okay, that's cool. In Temporal Sanctum, add an indicator. For the first time, Julra uses her most powerful ability. I wonder if they did that because they had a bunch of like newbies going into the dungeon and they don't spend the entire dungeon like practicing the going between timelines. And now you have people who are just going straight to the boss. They get there, they've never fought the boss before, and then they die. Probably not really big. Minions. You now gain 0.8 minion power per character level. And your minions deal 60% more damage and take 60% less damage from 45% for all. Press D requires reading, and no one does that anymore. Maybe you got a point. Made improvements to minion AI. Here's the thing, guys. I'm not the biggest minion player. I do like a good Sabretooth every once in a while. Squirrels was fun. Hopefully this helps when it comes to squirrels. Because honestly, you know, with some of the items in the game now, kind of jumping ahead a little bit, the squirrels might be kind of nuts. Minions can be toggled between protect and assassinate modes. I like this idea. I don't know about you guys, but I have played my fair share of real-time strategy games, and you know how like each squadron or unit you can kind of set like an AI profile. I always thought it would be cool if that was in games like this, like where you are somebody and you control minions of some kind. And you have these different AI profiles for patrol, defend, assassinate, that sort of thing. It's cool to see them add 2 modes to it. That's the fantasy, right? Yeah. You're in charge, and they go out and they can do different stuff for you. I think this is a great start, and maybe this is all that's needed. Protect and assassinate. The end. Go out, find some enemies, or hey, yo, stay close to me. Don't go anywhere. All minions are now more responsible at high movement speeds, reducing instances of the minion spinning around and failing to reach its intended destination. Minions will no longer sometimes run back and forth. This was really frustrating, especially if you're playing with a lone minion. And your minion would run forward and be like, oh, wait, hold up, boss, I'm coming back. Wait, I'm going over here. And that's your DPS, right? That minion is your DPS, and he's doing this. And you're like, hey, that thing. You're like running around for your life. And you're like running around for your life. And you feel helpless because that's your DPS. And it's like, the nodes in each class which unlock access to dual wielding now grant 8% more damage taken while dual wielding from 9. This helps. This helps, but this is nice. You now gain 20% increased attack and cast speed while dual wielding. The Rip Blood Shrine now casts Rip Blood every second. All right, here we go, chat. You guys are probably already aware of this, but Sentinel changes. Voidwell now has a 4-second cooldown from 3. So let's jump into the game real quick. For those who maybe don't know or were not familiar, Voidwell was this node right over here. Had a 3-second cooldown. This was the node that kind of gave you the feeling of you had unlimited mana, and you mostly saw people doing this with a Erasing Strike, just spamming it over and over again. And it would look like they would never run out of mana. They would get down to no mana, and then it would fill 30% of the way back up. And then bam, 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 bam. And they had it timed to the point where you could keep doing that and pretty much infinitely cast a Racing Strike. Well, instead of a 3-second cooldown, this is now a 4-second cooldown. So it doesn't kill that fantasy. It just means, you either need more mana or you just got to deal with some roadblocks or, filling the space some other way as opposed to just constantly casting Erasing Strike. Action RPG with the raid. Aaron, how's it going, man? You guys, thank you so much. How you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for the follow. Today is the day.
Bankai.
Reaper Sage! Digital, thank you for the follow. Digital 504, thank you so much for the follow. Judgment Paladin is side-eyeing you so hard right now. Yeah, I know, right? So, thank you so much for the raids, guys. I really appreciate it. Yo, bird up. Today is the day. Yeah, so Void Knight passive tree, this got increased to 4 seconds. So Erasing Strike isn't dead. Not in the least. It just means you're going to have to fill the time a little bit more or just get that much more mana. Anomaly, I am surprised that Mark of Rot still allows the enemy to take any sort of void damage increase, right? So back before the whole rework of Sentinel, this used to do 100% increased void damage, but that was fine because not everything did a ton of damage. The whole Sentinel rework happened, and now it got changed to 50% from 100. That was still insane. All right, so they've now reduced it to 30%. I still think Mark of Rot needs some sort of rework, but we shall see. This might be good enough. Erasing Strike Shattered Continuity now grants Erasing Strike 20% less damage. So if we take a look in game, go over to the Erasing Strike node. You might be wondering what's Shattered Continuity. I know what it is, but I'll highlight it for you. If you go over here, Erasing Strike no longer has a cooldown. You notice that's all it says. It's now in the new season going to say Erasing Strike no longer has a cooldown and you do 20% less damage. So that actually means this node right here, Obliteration, has not been touched at all. This has not been touched. This has not been touched. Anything that gave this more damage has not been touched. So, with all that being said, thank you so much for the follow, Scarecrow. I think Erasing Strike's still going to do a lot of damage. It's just going to be 20% less. I think that's fine. I was calling for this. That's a lot of nuts! That's right. I was calling for this note. Sentinel is still OP. Sentinel is still pretty strong. I was like the thing is, Aaron, I was planning on doing bleed hammers because I thought everything else would get touched in some sort of way. And I thought hammers was going to be one of the things that was not going to get nerfed. Yeah, Sentinel's still eating good. I thought hammers wouldn't be nerfed into the ground or anything like that. Well, it turns out just about everything wasn't nerfed into the ground, except for a few outliers. Erasing Strike got a nerf, but it's not nerfed into the ground. Smite didn't get touched at all. Smite was still pretty strong. Hammers did not get touched at all. And in fact, there's a new item in the game. Well, we were going over to earlier. Somebody posted all of these on the internet. Carry-on of Creation. Chance to inflict bleed on hit. 100% of Ignite, Frostbite, Shock, Time Rot, Damned, Poison Chance, and all of that converted to bleed chance. So, yeah, you bet. I'm definitely working on something for Bleed Paladin. I'm looking forward to that one. So, yeah. Paladin, everybody looking good. Javelin, Battle Standard grants 300% more hit damage from 300% more damage. Rip Time Rot Javelin. Judgment, Urgent Inquisition grants plus 50 mana cost from 40, and now grants 50% less healing from Consecrated Ground. And Cleansing Light now has a trigger limit of 3 times per 10 seconds. This is going to hit really hard because here's the thing about Judgment Paladin. All right. I only killed Uber Aberoth once this entire season, and it was with Judgment Paladin. It was still like a 9-minute fight. The only way it worked is you had to sustain through all of his junk and then make sure you didn't take any of those stacks near the end of the fight. And just basically sustain. The fact is, Judgment Paladin is no longer going to be able to sustain through it. I don't even know if Judgment Paladin is Uber Aberoth viable anymore. Depends. Maybe if you're using Uber Aberoth uniques. We shall see. Honestly, though, I think we're going to see Uber Aberoth still get, chunked out. It's probably just going to be with a minion build or Lich or something like that. I don't really think any of the Racing Strike might still be able to do it. I don't think Time Rod Javelin's going to be able to do it. Judgment Paladin, I don't think is going to be able to do it. Might see some sort of hammer build be able to do it, but we shall see. Smite, Panacea grants Smite healing a chance to cleanse if Smite was directly cast. So I didn't really use this, but there were some people who would do like a Smite hammer or some sort of thing where you proc Smite instead of you directly casting Smite, and you could get a chance to cleanse from Smite, because Smite heals, if you didn't know. You can get a chance to cleanse through Smite even if you procced Smite. Well, now you have to directly cast Smite. You can't just proc it from an idol or a belt or something else. You have to directly cast it to be able to get a chance to be cleansed. So they're really trying to buckle down on the sources of cleanse and really nail it down. Make sure you can't just cleanse over and over again. Yeah, Warpath proc Smite. There you go. That's another one. Symbols of Hope, Invigorate grants 4% increased healing effectiveness per symbol per point from 6. This is, I think, just fine. Healing Rites grants 30% increased healing effectiveness per point on activation from 40. That's okay. I don't really play a lot of Rogue, but I'll go ahead and read the Blade Dancer changes right here. Spellbreaker grants 1% parry chance per point from 4% frailty chance. That's cool. You now have a 3-point threshold bonus that grants you 25% frailty chance. This is cool. You can get the parry chance. You no longer have to take this for your frailty, and you can still invest 3 points to get frailty. Critical Eye now has a 3-point threshold bonus, granting 30% critical strike avoidance. Okay. Falconer still OP. Hey, what up, Sob? I feel like Raptor and Ancestral Sabertooth Beastmaster with Tyrant Skull will kill Uber Aberoth on day 2. At the latest. Day 2 or 3. It's going to really depend on how hard it is to get your hands on those uniques. I know we can buy them, right? But it takes a currency other than gold, and we don't know how much of that currency, how much of those supplies we get per thing we kill. I'm assuming it's not going to be extremely hard, because otherwise who would really interact with this whole new mechanic, right? So I'm thinking, yeah, day 2 or 3, something using a primordial unique. I mean, that's not much of a prediction here. I'm not really Nostradamus for that. I'm guessing a build using a primordial unique that is probably of the minion flavor is probably going to be the first to kill Uber Aberoth or Lich. Yeah, it really depends on how many bones you get, right? Like if you get 100 bones, yeah, that's going to be a while. You get 100 bones per kill. Yeah, that's going to be a while, right? Even if you're using the Woven Echoes to kill a bunch of them, it's going to be a while. But if you're getting 500 bones per kill, oh, okay, that's a little bit different. So we shall see. Yeah, you could tell me 15,000 bones. To me, that means nothing until I have an exchange rate. 15,000 bones, that's 1 kill. Oh, well, then there you go. You know, I killed one, I went and bought. I killed one, I went and bought. Yeah, right. Crimson Shroud node now grants a chance to gain Crimson Shroud. Sorry, I pronounced it weird like that. When you directly use a melee or throw-in attack and hit at least one enemy. Ron will find a way. Ron. Blood Dance grants 0.5% of damage leached his health for damage over time per point from 10%. This is cool, especially if you're doing some sort of dot build on Blade Dancer. Cloaked Reaper now grants +7 health per point. That's cool. Skills Aerial Assault Skyward Swoop grants 6% cooldown recover per point from 10 when your Falcon hits an enemy. And it now has a trigger limit of 10 per 3 seconds from no limit. Dancing Strikes now gains increased cooldown recovery speed and more damage equal to 50% of your total increased melee attack speed from no increased cooldown recovery speed and more damage equal to 33% of your total increased melee attack speed. So 50% instead of 33, and you now gain cooldown recovery speed from no cooldown recovery speed at all. Each attack in the sequence has 150% effectiveness of added damage from 100. That's actually pretty good for Dancing Strikes. I haven't used it in a long time, but that could be really good. Dive Bomb. I haven't really used this at all. Flock of Crows grants a 34% chance instead of 100 to gain a stack of... It had a 100% chance to gain a stack of Dusk Shroud? Gaping Wounds now has a max of 4 points. Midnight Avery grants 1% more damage per point per Umbral Blade in the ground, up to 25% more damage per point. Previously had no limit. Rapid Pursuit grants 3 mana per point from 4 and 8% traversal skill down recover per point from 12 on hitting at least one boss or rare enemy. Focus Hunter grants 2 minus mana cost per point from 4. Shadow Falcons created by On Wings of Shadow are now created when the initial dive bomb lands rather than immediately on use. Hunter Spoils now has a trigger limit. Cadence of Death now specifies that it grants increased melee area rather than generic area. This is only a description change. Synchronized Strike. Reduce anticipation time by 50%, making it faster to use. That's cool. That's cool. Umbral Blades. Edge of Obscurity grants 2% more damage per stack of Dusk Shroud, up to 20 stacks. Previously had no limit. It is still doubled while in Smoke Bomb. Max of 3 from 4 points. Acolyte Passive Tree. Okay, here's the thing, guys. I can read this. The thing about Rogue, I've actually played a Rogue this season. I played a Marksman. So some of this, like, I can kind of, make sense here. Me reading you Acolyte stuff, I would literally, like, unless you guys find my voice to be very soothing and relaxing while you are focusing on your studies, I could offer nothing. Crimson Gluttony has been reworked, and now Scott.
You serious?
Yeah. It now grants 1% missing health gained as ward. See, like, I have no frame of reference for that because I never play Acolyte. I do like a good Warlock, but it's been a while. I'm telling you guys, it's been a while. Like last year. Was it last year? Yeah, it might have been last year. Like reading a Chinese menu. Yeah, like I could be like, Putrid Demise now grants 7% poison chance. Okay. I guess that's cool. I mean, I can, recognize 7% poison chance per point instead of 8. How many points is it? I don't know. Apocrypha now has a 7-point threshold bonus, which grants 50% of your increased mana regen as increased armor. That's cool. That's cool. Spirit Lure, Serrated Bones. All of this is cool. I don't really have much of a frame of reference. So forgive me. I'm going to skip this part. Forgive me. Like I said, I have no real frame of... I've literally never even played a Lich before. Runic Invocations. I have played a Rune Master. It was in beta. Antipod of Mesombria. That's a weird name. Mesombria is 180 base damage and 900% effectiveness. So slight buff. Dragon's Breath has buff. Igneous Rain. Buffed, but I don't know if this is enough though. Like, here's the thing. Rune Master was strong in beta, but there was actually a couple nodes, if you didn't know, in beta and going into season 1. What up, Pablo? Coming in. You've been subscribed for 3 months. Thank you so much, Pablo. I appreciate it. So here's the thing about Rune Master. It was strong, but it had a couple nodes that were bugged that made it really strong. When all that stuff got fixed and some nerfs were applied, Rune Master hasn't been in the same space. Now, if you know what you're doing, you can make it work, but this is nice. You can clearly tell they don't want to go too insane here, so they've given some buffs. Like this one's like, you know, a pretty substantial buff, but I don't think anybody's using Reounds in that runic invocation. Pablo gifts a sub, and it goes to Rudy. So yeah, that's the mage changes. To agree with Mr. Dread, yeah, they probably did mage a big favor by not doing anything other than this. Probably did a big favor to mage by just leaving mage alone. Okay, Primalist. Let's take a drink for this. Now, I have played Primalist on multiple occasions. I even played a Primalist this patch, this season 2. I played a Druid. Aspect of the Boar grants 15%. Oh, so they changed what the aspect does. Okay, so it's not even a node. Oh, no. It's not even a node. Aspect of the Boar grants 15% reduced damage. It already did that. 30% increased bleed duration. Can you put Aspect of the Boar onto your minions? That could be pretty nutty. Okay. 30% increased bleed duration. That's like, it's not too bad. Yes, also in changes. What's in changes? What's up, Meepy? How's it going? Aspect of the Shark grants 15% more melee damage. Oh, this is nice. From 75% increased and 10% increased melee attacks. Squirrels looks mega juicy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, because you can put your aspect onto them, and they're going to get increased bleed duration. That's going to be nice. Aspect of the Shark grants 15% more melee damage. Nice. Aspect of the Viper grants 100% chance to poison on hit and 20% more damage over time. Okay. Aspect of the Lynx grants 5% critical strike chance from 100% increase. So 5% base and 100% increased stun chance. Okay. Beastmaster passive tree. Savagery grants 7% increased minion damage per point. Oh, it's just generic minion damage now. It's not minion melee. Okay, that's cool. Squirrels is one. Show me Bleed Raptor pack. Yeah, that could be interesting. That could be interesting just to make my character run around a little bit. Lamprey Teeth grants 1.5% minion damage leached as here. Hold up. Let me see. Since we're reading this and we've already gone over the Sentinel section. You know, obviously you guys kind of know me as the Sentinel guy. Let's go over to this Druid that I made this season. Just so we have a frame of reference, if that makes sense. I'm not going to be playing with this guy, but I just want to be able to take a look at the tree. Where are his boots? You know what? Boots. There we go. He can move around now. All right, cool. So So passive tree. So let's jump back over to this real quick. So savagery, lamprey teeth, boar heart has been reworked. 2% endurance per point. When you use a traversal skill or evade, you gain aspect of the boar for 1 second per point, max 5 points. So you can gain aspect of the boar for 5 seconds, essentially on demand. Was that boar heart? Oh, this is boar heart. Okay, you are granted aspect of the boar for a duration when hit by a melee attack. So when you're hit, you gain aspect of the boar. Now, you can put 5 points into this and evade to gain aspect of the boar. Hey, what's up, bro? So you can now evade and gain aspect of the boar. And you also gain 2% endurance per point. Oh, that's cool. So this is a static benefit that you gain. And then you also gain this benefit of when you evade, use a traversal skill or evade, you gain aspect of the boar. Yeah. Hey, how's it going, Toasty? Tusk Warrior grants aspect of the boar, 8% bleed chance per point, and 15% physical pin with bleed. What the? Huh? Tusk Warrior? Let's go back to the game. So Fury Leap, yeah. Okay. So you put points into Boarheart, points into Tusk Warrior. Okay, so it already had a node Deep Wounds that gave physical pin with bleed. Let's go back and read what if they did anything to Deep Wounds. All right, so they've kind of taken Deep Wounds and combined it with Tusk Warrior. So you get the pen without having to invest more points into Deep Wounds. Okay, let's read Deep Wounds. Deep Wounds has been replaced with Predator. +1 dexterity per point and 1% increased movement speed per point. Max 8 points, 5-point threshold bonus. You and your minions have 1% critical strike multiplier per 2 points of your dexterity. Hey, I can see some people stacking some decks for this. Hunter, the chase now has a 5-point threshold bonus. After being revived, your companions cannot be damaged for 4 seconds. That's cool. Hunters of the Deep has been replaced with Weathered Element. 7% increased companion damage per point. 2% shared elemental resistance per point. 3-point threshold. Your companions gain 1 spell damage per 3 points of your strength. And you believe raptors and bears scale with dex too? Okay. Okay, I could see what you guys are talking about. Just bleed. I see what you guys are talking about. Bleed raptors might be a thing if they scale with dex. Well, actually, no. It doesn't matter. No. You could already do bleed raptors or whatever. We're talking about critical strike multiplier. Unless I guess you're using Salt of Wounds, but you're probably not. You're probably going to be using the new bleed relic. So you probably wouldn't need this. Okay, this is for something else then. Nature's Embrace has been moved to require 25 points in Beastmaster from 35. Wait, hold up. Nature's Embrace. Nature's Embrace is now 25 points. Okay, so it's going to be over here. So this is going to get moved to over here somewhere. Or maybe Sabretooth. You know, honestly, that could make sense. Life in the wilderness, your endurance and your endurance threshold applied to your companions. Nature's embrace has been moved to require. We read that. Dragon Slayer has been removed. The Circle of Life now also grants Dragon Slayer's effect. Hey, what up, Air Dragon? How's it going? Added a new node in natural bonds, old position, embodiment, 10% of increased aspect duration per point and 6 health per point. Max 5 points, 3-point threshold bonus whenever you gain aspect of the shark or aspect of the boar, your minions gain it as well. Okay, so you use natural bond. All right. Hawk Wings has been moved. Critical Bite has been removed. What is Critical Bite? What is Critical Bite? Damage leached his health on crit with aspect of the links. Okay, this has been removed. Serrated Claws now has a 4-point threshold bonus. You basically gain what Critical Bite did. Feeding Frenzy allows aspect of the shark to stack up to 5 times instead of 10, but aspect of the shark has been buffed, essentially. Ancient Might has been reworked. Grants 3% reduced bonus damage taken from critical strikes per point for you and your minions. 10 health per point. 10% increased health per point. Max 10 points. What? Okay. +1 level to minion skills. Okay. Added a new node in Critical Bite's old position. Exemplar. 2 strength per point and 2 dex per point. Max 5 points. 3-point threshold. Max 1 companion with at least 100 strength and dexterity combined. So you can gain another companion. Yeah, Deej. Primal Aspects has been reworked. 8% increased effect of aspects on companions per point and 1% of damage redirected to your highest minion per point. Did you see the new 2x2 Primalist Idol? I think somebody shared it with me. Is it in the patch notes? Or maybe it was in this info. Maybe it was in this graphic. No, that's an amulet. Relic. Helmet. But it allows for more companions, right? That's what the idol does. +4. Yeah, that's a hard choice. Do I want that or a T8? Do I want that? Or do I want a T8 Exalted? I don't know, guys. It's not primordial? Oh, okay, never mind. I take back my statement. It's not primordial. Wow, that's insane. Excited Bolts now has a maximum damage bonus of 300%. Excited Bolts. Storm Bolts now consume a portion of your current mana to deal more damage. Its level requirement is 0. Yeah, I wonder, like, do you just find that laying around? Storm Bolts now consume a portion of your current mana to deal more damage per 10 current mana. Okay, yeah, this is a bit of a nerf to the Tornado build. Oh, wait. Unless this only works on direct casts. No, I don't think so. So now it has a hard cap of 300. All right. Serpent Strike. Shattered immunity. I don't really play that. Cool. I don't think I've ever used Summon Bear or Summon Raptor. Now has Dexterity scaling. Does Bear have Dexterity scaling? Well, if it does, no. Okay. Raptor has Dexterity scaling. 12 health and 4% increased damage per point. Rampage now grants 40% more damage. From 40% increased? Okay. Excuse me, guys. Cornered. Yeah, I've never really played this ability before, but this seems cool. Sabretooth now has Dexterity scaling. So if you want to go for a Sabretooth like crit build, you can stack Dex for that. Sabretooth's basic attack now has 15 base damage and 75 damage effectiveness. So they nerfed it. Maybe because of this? Oh, because they increased the attack speed to make it feel faster, probably. 8% more. Yeah, okay. 8% more melee damage from 40% increase. Right. Okay. Pack Hunter has been replaced with Permanent Bond. You have an additional wolf companion at all times. The wolf does not count towards your companion limit. Swipe. When this effect triggers a companion ability, that ability will now target the enemy that was hit instead of your cursor. Okay. Let's check out item, affix, and enemy balance. And in case you guys are wondering why I kind of just scrolled through this, I've never used Summon Scorpion. I used Summon Sabretooth like once for one build. It's been a while since I've used it, so reading through some of this is kind of like, huh? Keen senses, 3% critical strike chance per point instead of. So I mean, a lot of good quality of life. Right here, just for Sabretooth. Morning, folks. Hey, what up, Glassy Bear? Summon Scorpion. I've literally never played Scorpion, so I don't really have any frame of reference. Or Summon Spriggan. Wolf. I'm wondering how Permanent Bond is going to work. You have an additional wolf. Does not count towards your companion limit. So squirrels, like, does this also get converted to squirrels? I'm assuming so, because it's a wolf. So, hi, how's it going? The endurance while channeling Warpath affix now grant. Oh, okay, yeah, they fixed this. Add a new prefix for daggers, one-handed axes, two-handed axes, which grants additional melee and necrotic spell damage as a prefix. Add a new. Yo, upgrade Carton. Thank you for the follow. Add a new level of Flay prefix for body armor. Okay. The of Bulwark Sentinel Idol affix grants 176 to 380 block effectiveness on adorned idols. Oh, caught a nerf. Oh, they nerfed the block effectiveness on the idols. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I mean, this was nice. I'm not going to lie, guys. This was nice to just get so much block effectiveness from your idols. We're still going to take it. We're still taking it. It's just not as effective anymore. The Dreaded Widow's Feigned, Biting, Scorching, Illuminating, and Fate Weaver's Weaver Idol affixes. Oh, okay. They're lowering the pin values, lowering the ward retention values from the idols. Oh yeah, they're just going through and just nerfing some of this, some of these values. I will admit, some of these Weaver Idol affixes were really insane. The Spined Idol grants 8 to 20% chance on hit to summon a Thorn Totem up to 3 times per 5 seconds. From 4 to 10% with no limit. So it got the smite treatment. The Resounding Idol affix grants 18 to 28% chance for an Avalanche Boulder to drop. We got the smite treatment. The Reverberating Idol affix grants smite treatment. Enemy balance changes. Normalize how enemy damage is scaled with level for enemies that scale to level. I.e. enemies in the monolith, enemies in random encounters such as exiled mages. This should result in a more consistent ratio of damage. Hey, what up, Naguk? Aberos Frailty now also grants 50% reduced healing effectiveness per stack. They really don't want you to just stand there. Season 3 looking awesome. Season 3 is looking pretty good. They don't want you to just stand there and sustain through all his little, thingamabobs. New unique items. 5 standard uniques, 25 primordial uniques. Let's go over unique item changes. Clothals. Looks like it's catching a bit of a nerf. They reduce the strength and dex, the melee strike multiplier, and the flat damage from being a flat 90 got reduced to 60 to 80. And the subtype, which was only used for Clothal's Needle, but nonetheless, the subtype got caught a nerf as well. The Confluence of Fate grants 3 to 9% increased fire damage taken on hit, and increased necrotic damage taken on hit, and increased void damage. Oh, okay, so this is a buff. This is a buff, so you're going to be taking less damage if you want to use the Confluence of Fate. So Uberoth will be even more unavailable for certain builds as well. I had already suspected Judgment wasn't going to be able to do it anymore with all the healing reductions, and then they go and add that. So yeah, it's Uberoth is still purely aspirational. I don't even I'll attempt it a couple times here in season 3, but I'm probably not going for it. I don't really feel like doing it again. Ron Warp grants 2% increased spell damage per 1% increased movement speed. It now has an effective level for LP of 70? Oh man, Ron Warp took the good old fashioned 1-2. Well, boys, looks like Ladle's back on the menu, baby. Viper Tail grants 50 to 80% chance to poison on hit, and 10 to 30% chance to slow on hit from 50 to 70, huh? Oh man, they really want Time Rod Javelin to not be a thing. They're just nerfing Viper Tail. You had an association with Time Rod Javelin. Oh, I don't think Time Rot is going to be ripped, but yeah, this definitely, they don't want Time Rot Javelin to be a thing. I mean, I guess Viper Tail, to be fair, fit into a number of Time Rot builds, not just Time Rot Javelin, but that's pretty much where it became known. Ucini's Sphere grants 20% increased cold and lightning damage for each water orb from 30%, and now has an effective level for legendary potential of 30. The water orbs now have 80 base damage and 400% effectiveness of added damage. So they buffed the damage of water orbs, but it took essentially a 33% nerf to the increased cold and lightning damage. That's a straight up buff. This is a buff to the water orb damage, but nobody used the water orbs to do any damage. They used the effect of every time you've cast a water orb with this sphere, you gain 20 it used to be 30% here. I could show you. I could show you right now. Hold up. Look at this. Ursini's sphere. Let's go to oh, you used it as well. Okay.
What do you want?
Actually, my entire build, this entire character build got a nerf. Talking from a Sork perspective, right? So, okay, there's that water orb. I don't have intelligence and attunement the same, so I'm only casting 1 instead of 3. But yeah, they've definitely reduced the amount of damage you get out of Ursini's. Definitely reduced the damage. Oh well, it's not dead, but I feel like now more than ever, you're gonna have to go for attunement and intelligence to be the same. What class am I gonna play? I'm playing Sentinel again for sure. Like Sentinel's my favorite class. I'm just gonna be playing Sentinel again, but I will play a Beastmaster. Well, I will play a Lich for sure in season 3. I don't know how well I will be at it. I've never played one. And then, time willing, I will play a Beastmaster as well. But I'm all about that Sentinel, baby. Hey, what up, Keck W? What's the TLDR on Paladin this patch? The TLDR is some minor nerfs. Judgment Paladin will probably still be a thing, but I doubt it will be uber Aberoth viable. It caught a number of sensible nerfs. For the most part, Paladin is still largely going to be the same. I'm going to be doing bleed hammers again. There's a lot of good synergy now for bleed hammers. I mean, like, okay, here in season 2, when bleed hammers was okay, I still pushed it past 1,000 corruption, right? It's now going to be even better with the primordials. So TLDR, Paladin's still good. Blood of the Exile, I use this in a number of builds. It caught a nerf. Unfortunate, but I think this is fine. For Blood of the Exile, this is fine. 5 to 8 strength, dexterity, and intelligence. From 8 to 12, yeah, that sucks. That's, will the new Beastmaster stuff make Beastmaster good? Yeah, we just went over the changes. We just went over, just based off the changes alone, Saiyant or Saiyanti, I think Beastmaster is going to be great. I think with just the changes alone, Beastmaster is going to be great. Now you add in all those primordial stuff you just got here. No problem, man. No problem, man. I'm not worried about that. Now you add in all the primordial uniques that have been confirmed. I'm sure there's going to be a new idol in the game as well. For primalists that give you +4 to companions. This is nuts. Yes. Yeah, Saiyanti, bro, you're gonna enjoy Beastmaster, man. Okay, look, they're changing all the aspects. They're gonna be buffed. Don't get me wrong. These are buffs. 15% more damage instead of 75% increased buff. Buffs across the board, meaningful changes. Certain nodes have just been removed and their effectiveness has been moved to other nodes and made as a thingamabob. Yeah, I think Beastmaster is going to be good. As somebody who doesn't really play a lot of Beastmaster, I think it's going to be pretty good. I think Dragon Raptors, especially with the T-Rex skull, I think that's going to be pretty good. Yeah, all of these changes are pretty nice. So let's go. Let's finish these out real quick. Blood of the Exile caught a nerf. That's fine. Flames of Midnight grants 7 to 11 Fire, Necrotic, and Void Pen. That's a nerf. You're looking forward to a change. Are you a big Beastmaster guy, say NT? Countenance of Majasa. 25 to 30% block effectiveness applies to damage over time as if it had been blocked. One of the only things you haven't played yet. I haven't played a Lich, so that's why I said I would play Lich before I played Beastmaster. Only because I haven't played Beastmaster before. I've already played Beastmaster before, and I've never played Lich. So, yeah. Flames, yeah, nerf. Ambitions of an Erased Acolyte. My favorite LE streamer. I hope they didn't nerf the content creator servers. Hey, what up, Dan? Over on YouTube. Yeah, I think the content creator servers are going to be fine. Hey, what up, Telron? Played a lot of Sentinel and then BST Wolves. Haven't played much Lich, but changes look good. Honestly, I don't really have a frame of reference. Yeah, Toast. Yeah, Toast. I'm thinking of using the bleed gloves. Ambitions of an Erased Acolyte now has a maximum of 3,000 ward granted by its effect when a nearby enemy or ally dies. Countenance of Majasa. This was rightfully nerfed. 25 to 30% block effectiveness as opposed to 30 to 35. I think that is fine. 150 to 300 block effectiveness from 300 to 600. That is fine as well. Pearls of the Swine caught a bit of a nerf. It looks like the ward might have been buffed a little bit. Brewmaster's Buckle caught a nerf. I'm not surprised. This was freaking nuts. It's still one of the best all-around belts in the game. Hands Off Necro is cool, but gets lonely. Yeah, played Hammers last season, was tons of fun. Yeah, I'm gonna be playing Hammers again. I'm looking forward to it. Scissors. Oh, this is one of the Orion's Descent. 4 to 20 intelligence from 4 to 25, and now has effective level for LP of 65 from 40. I found so many 3 LP versions of this. Yeah, that's fine. Scissor of Atropos grants plus 46 melee damage from 50. 12 to 16% increased attack speed from 14 to 22. Kismet now only consume when you directly use a throw and attack. Transcriber's Graver grants 12 to 20% elemental pin from 16 to 24. 80 to 120% chance to cast fire aura each second, and 6 to 10 spell damage with Flame Rush. Okay, so a bit of a nerf. Honestly, this probably got nerfed because of the Judgment build. Everybody was using it. Vessel of Strife. I don't get this. Vessel of Strife has caught yet another nerf. Nerf to World Splitter. Why? Because it was strong. It was strong. Black Blade of Chaos. Yeah, they really don't want Time Rot Javelin to be a thing, man. Completely in half. I knew, like, when I saw that, when I saw the Time Rot thing, and I saw this was being used on the Time Rot Javelin, I'm like, dude, I think that, I bet you, dollars to donuts, the devs forgot about this item when they created the whole Time Rot thing. dollars to donuts. When they thought of the whole time rot mechanics, they forgot Black Blade of Chaos was in the game. They cut it in half, fam. World Splitter grants 0.2 to 0.3 crit strike chance for melee attacks per 1 mana cost. But why World Splitter? Here's why, Glasty. Here's why. There's a new item in the game. It's going to be an amulet. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. It's the eyeglass, right? Yeah, here we go. True Sight Glass. Critical strike chance above 100% gives you a chance to deal deadly strikes up to 40%. Deadly strikes count as critical strikes, but have an additional 300% critical strike multiplier. And then on top of that, you just gain extra critical strike multiplier. And that's what the song I sent to you is about. Increased cooldown recovery speed and critical strike avoidance. So, yeah, this is why I think World Splitter got nerfed, because it was very easy to have 100% critical strike chance. Very easy to get 100%. And then if you started taking the mana, like if you started taking the mana things, that increase the cost of like, increase the mana cost of erasing strike, it like, yeah, it would have been nuts. I think that's why it got nerfed. They want you put some sort of investment to get 100% so you can get the deadly strikes. It's going to be so powerful on the Falconer. So nerf VK and keep Falconer like it is. What are the chances of getting that True Sight Glass? That's a sweet item. I think all of the primordial uniques, except for a couple, can be purchased in game using a specific kind of resource. I don't know what it's going to take to get this resource. The one I want is Carrion of Creation. It's my favorite glove base type. It's Eternal Gauntlets, right? So armor, portion of armor mitigation also applies to dots. Chance to inflict bleed on hit, 100 to 157%. This is insane. 100% of ignite, frostbite, shock, time rot, damned, and poison chance converted to bleed chance. So everything that is not bleed gets converted to bleed. So you get this huge amount of chance to inflict bleed. Then you get this huge amount of chance to inflict bleed. And you get some extra damage to enemies that die, but it's this huge, just absolute butt ton of bleed chance. This is there a primordial for Void Cleave here? I got this from Frozen Sentinel's video, who got it from somebody else. Oh. Okay, I gotta check out Curse's video. Gotta see what's up. Okay, so where is my... Hey guys, Bike here. Where is my history?
You're probably going to want to do something.
All right. Yeah, I'm posting the link right now. Oh, Meepy, can you post it? Sure. Hold up. Let me grant you permission. Let me go into the bot and check your name real quick. And you're good. You're good. You can go ahead and post it. There's that. Let me post this over onto YouTube. You guys can check that out. Oh, you can check them out on Tunk Labs. Oh, this is cool. Okay, that's way better than what I was doing. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is way better. Holy. Wings of Discord. Wildfire Embers. Whetstone Gavel. Here, let me grab that and post that over on YouTube. Okay. So the blood one, the carrying on of creation, this is the one I'm interested in. There's also the spyglass that we were just taking a look at. True sight glass. This one could be pretty good. So yeah, we went on a bit of a tangent, but yeah, there we go. Hold up. Okay, so that was a long-winded approach to tell all y'all that I suspect that's why World Splitter got nerfed. The slab now limits block chance to a maximum of 75%. Apathies can have 2 T7 melee void damage. Do any guides? Do I have any guides for bleed hammers? Sure. Hold up. I'm gonna be releasing a new one, Naguk, for season 2. For season 3, excuse me. But where is my most recent bleed hammers? Here we go. Yeah, I'm going to be working on a season 3, but if you want to just take a look at what I've done here in season 2, there you go. Yo, Crazy Gav Gaming, thank you for the follow. You're very welcome. Sentinel guides are not going to change a lot. Felt like they did Sentinel right. Yeah. They did Sentinel right. They did nerf a few of the outliers. I was really concerned. Was glad when I saw the note. I was really concerned that they were going to overreact and just put Sentinel into the ground. But I feel like they made sensible nerfs. Obviously World Splitter getting nerfed sucks a little bit. But I think with the some of the new stuff coming into the game, this makes sense, with deadly crits being a thing. The slab now limits block chance to a maximum of 75%. Ashes of Mortality, gain on hit, chance on hit to gain ward per ignite and damned on you and the target is now limited to 2,000 ward. Right, this used to have no cap. You could get so much ward from it. Bloodkeeper's Nest grants bees 12 to 16 health per attunement. So, there we go. Go Bees. Circle of Fortune. Increase the amount of favor you gain for joining Circle of Fortune. You should be able to buy your first prophecy immediately. This is so cool. The buffs the Circle of Fortune. This is amazing. Merchants Guild. Say what? Did they nerf the Majasa shield? You already know they did. Countenance of Majasa. Reduced the block effectiveness applying to damage over time to 25 to 30% from 30 to 35%. This is probably the biggest nerf right here. The 3 to 600% block effectiveness, or 3 to 600 block effectiveness, is reduced to 150 to 300. Yeah, halved it. And then they nerfed the idols as well. So Sentinel could get block effectiveness as an idol affix. That has been nerfed as well. 176 to 380 from 176 to 475. So at the high end, it has been nerfed. Like, some of these could be, pretty substantial. Still viable. It's still viable, yeah. Honestly, for me, I think what was really kind of busted on Countenance of Majasa was the whole chance to basically, make them like freeze in place. That hasn't been touched. Like, that hasn't been touched. You could still just, freeze enemies in place, 20% chance. So, yeah, Countenance of Majasa is still very strong. Is Reliquary Nest basically a 50% more damage multiplier for shield throw since all its damage comes from idols? Reliquary? Stats on your non-unique idols have 40 to 60% increased effect. 5 to 10% to all resistances. 10 to 20% increased endurance threshold, health, stun avoidance. Yeah, quite possibly, Dan. Quite possibly. This could be good for that. We shall see. There's just a lot of just generically good stuff like this. Right here. Permanence of Primal Knowledge. Skill level stats from legendary affixes. So I'm assuming this is, affixes that are slammed onto a legendary. I think that's what this means. And now gains 50% bonus. Hey, what's up, Miss T? How's it going? What's up? How's it going, Miss T? Skill level stats from legendary affixes have 50% increased effect. What's for regular idols? Reliquary Nest. Stats on your non-unique idols have 40 to 60% increased effectiveness. Maybe that's why they went ahead and nerfed some of those idols, because if you're able to increase their effectiveness by 40 to 60%, there could be some shenanigans. Imagine just stacking a whole bunch of health idols, then slapping this baby on there. And then this right here, like, let's say you have a skill level stat. So let's say I have a +4 Rive. Yeah, like that. Increase it by 40 to 60%, Savicus. Let's say I have a +4 to Rive. I equip this. 50% increase. So what does that mean? It essentially turned it into a T8? Yeah. Does this essentially just turns your T7 affixes into T8 affixes? that our skill level increases if they're on a legendary unique. On a legendary. If I have a T7 +4 to Rive and I increase it by 50%, no? Then what it's skill level stats. So are we talking strength? Are we talking strength and dexterity? Because skill level, you get the melee damage, but not the plus damage. Is that what you're saying? So if I have a +4 to Rive, skill level isn't a stat. Okay, so are we talking strength and dexterity, or are we talking what Savicus just said? The portion underneath where you get a +4. If it said I get 100% increased melee damage, it becomes 50% increased. Okay, I could see that. Crit, damage, health, anything that's on a legendary, the bottom part. So that gets a 50% increase, not the plus level itself. You might not get attributes. True, because you can call it attributes. The stats part is a little confusing, but I think you guys are right. I think it's got to be the bottom part. Because, like, this is just insane. It's like, why would you ever even consider taking a T8? Honestly, I still think there's no point in taking a T8. Not when you can take a shield that gives you 3 to 4 to your strength skills, or 3 to 4 to your dexterity skills, or +4 to dexterity, dexterity skills, intelligence, that sort of thing. I kind of don't see the point. Is there an attunement one? Oh, rip attunement. The one-handed mace is nuts. Harmony of the Fist. Oh, wait, no, you said one-handed mace. Oh, whetstone? If you have an exalted weapon in your offhand, its stats have 90 to 100% increased effectiveness. Hi, how's it going? 3 weapons. Yeah, essentially. +1 to lightning skills. Yeah, +1 to fire, +1 to physical. If you have an exalted weapon in your offhand, its stats have 90 to 100% increased effectiveness, increased armor mitigation, increases to all attributes. Yeah, this thing is nuts. Absolutely. Okay, let's get back to the patch notes. We've kind of gone off into the weeds again. Merchants Guild buffs, black market tokens, merchant tokens have been added. Merchant tokens can be used to remove favor costs from an item that you're purchasing from the bazaar. Black market tokens can be used to buy items that require a higher reputation rank than you have and reduce their rank requirement to 1. That's pretty nuts. Only 1 token can be used per purchase. I'm thinking this is for a way for people who are not blasting the market as much to catch up. Because I remember in season 2, Dread said like he had blasted so far ahead in the game and in Merchant's Guild. What is the name of the Skeletal Mage release from last season? Skeletal Mage Staff? Hold up. Oh, I've been disconnected. Oh, well. Well, let's go over to here. Resources, items. He said it's a staff. Let's take a look. Skeletal Mage Staff. Is it Celestial Doom? Oh, you thought of me right away. Yeah, the gloves. Blight. Oh, right here. Yeah. Oh, the Weaver's Will one. Yeah. Insanity. I was already preparing to do Bleed Hammers for the start of this season. Have we had any upcoming news on new items? Yeah. Hold up. We have I think they're all on Tunk Labs now. Yeah. Yeah, check it out, Omega. Check it out, my friend. Thank you so much for the likes over on YouTube, guys. I really appreciate it. I know we keep getting lost in the weeds here, guys. Sorry, I keep going squirrel. We're trying to get through these patch notes. All right. Yeah. So I was telling. Yeah. They're good, man. They're good. There's a lot. There is a lot. So. Black market tokens. So I was telling you guys, Dredd said he had blasted so far ahead of everybody else. He had stuff sitting on the market and nobody was buying anything because they weren't high enough rank to buy anything. So he was not getting any money and he couldn't buy anything from anybody else. What something like a black market token can do is help people buy some stuff further up ahead and, kind of help normalize the market, get it up and going a little bit faster. We shall see. I do really think they should increase the gold limit. It's a catch-up mechanic. If it says primordial, you can only use one. In-game faction updates, adjusted chances for Weaver's Touch. Added new rank bonuses and idol crafting. You can reforge class-specific idols at... Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. You can just reforge idols? You can reforge Weaver. Dude, this is kind of insane. You can reforge class-specific idols. Reforging a class-specific idol will remove any Weaver's Touch and enchanted affixes, then re-roll the standard affixes. Guys, you're going to want to be picking up some of those bases now. Yeah, Kriskin, that is very good. It depends on what the cost is. All right, like let's say I'm looking for bleed duration. Yeah, it's idols gambling. Sort of. You could... So instead of adding Weaver's Touch, you can now just re-roll the entire idol. All the standard affixes on an idol. Here, let me. No, oops. My bad. Yeah, it's a huge quality of life, especially if you know what kind of idol you want. Oh, oops. Let me go over here. I don't have any idols on. Assuming you're running a build that uses class affixes. All right, but these idols, right? These idols, these class affixes, you can re-roll these affixes on here. The increased time rot duration, the increased fire duration, you could re-roll it. Like hammers? Yeah, true. Like this one. I got chance to cast smite when you hit with throwing attacks. Cool, but we generally want, yeah. You can re-roll. That's what they're saying. We can summon a T-Rex? Yeah, Omega, we can summon a T-Rex. Added 4 new nodes to the Weaver tree. Age of Beasts. Increased Rift Beast spawn rate. Riven Getaway. Rift Beasts from Rifts are accompanied by other ancient era enemies. Crystal Growth. Increased chance for Rift Beasts. Excuse me. To have crystallized hearts. Primordial Ambush. Quality of life. Upgrades to the loot filter. Any rule that includes a recoloring of item labels will now... Yeah, okay. So if you guys didn't see, you can now... There's new UI stuff. They kind of spell it out for you when you're upgrading stuff, like what happened. Fix many common cases of minion snapshotting. Yes, minion snapshotting is done. They've added loot filter beams and stuff like that in as well. You can change the color of the beams and the text. Stash macros have been added. Swap attributes, all these different sort of macros to help navigate your stash. They've upgraded the UI. Very nice. Controller enemies. 7 new enemy champions have been added. I really like this one. The beams and sounds, fantastic. Main reason I'm making Scorpion this season, not to be accused of snapshotting. You're right. Optimized memory allocation across the game. Created a new graphic setting to control the amount of lights emitted by visual effects. Lowering can improve performance on slower configuration. Improves the performance in chaotic battles. This is going to be really good, especially if you have a lower end rig. I have a very powerful rig, but even my rig will slow down in chaotic battles. So I'm probably going to lower the lights. Fix the common source of hitching during gameplay. Enable texture streaming all across all of the game assets for reduced memory usage. The texture quality settings set by master quality option has been adjusted to account for this change. This is just, we've wanted this for so long. Introduce a system that limits numbers and types of visual effect lights based on quality settings to improve performance. Created a new graphic setting to control the amount of lights emitted by visual effects. Wait, we just read this, right? Okay, I'm not going insane. Adjusted lights, adjusted vegetation, adjusted visual effects for Titan. Okay, following menus have been optimized. Added WASD controls. Game guide has been updated and needs a lot more updates. Skills, the base ability visuals have been updated. These are just visual increases, visual improvements. Enemies have new visual effects when frozen. Most enemies now visually shatter on death. They do not shatter if they are erased with erasing strike. Reduce screen shake. Tone down the champion visual indicator. Updated Admiral Harton. Reduce cave spiders. New voice acting. The following monolith scenes have visual updates. The monolith stone has improved visuals. New music. Rebuilt audio to improve combat clarity and feedback. Updated model and icon for the Pyre of Affliction. Improved visual that plays for Woven Echoes. New supporter packs. Nigel, the LE Toucan. All cosmetic items from Primal Traveler, Primal Templar title, blah, blah, blah. MTX improvements. You can now equip the same cosmetic pet twice. The Abyssal supporter packs will be removed from shop in September. Frozen Fane mat. Oh, okay. These are new added stuff. Skill effects. Let's see. Polar bear, summon bear. They added a polar bear, summon bear. Primal lizard, summon bear. What about panda? They didn't add panda. They failed. Okay, Cosmic Warpath. Oh, that's cool. Matron of the Dead. They add Pale Hunter, Summon Raptor. They added 2 summon bears, and none of them were pandas. Panda denied. No javelin. I know, no javelin. Tropical Steel Falconry. Wildfire Wyvern. They added 2 summon raptors. And they added 2 summon bears. But no panda. Skills. Void Cleave. Fixed Void Cleave with active Gravity's Edge node. Doesn't lose its traversal ability when buffered. Arena Shields. Shield Rush fixed an issue where Shield Rush with a desynchronous charge node would sometimes fail to pull the player back. Multi-Strike. Vengeance fixed a bug which caused the Blade Paladin node in Vengeance to grant Fire Pen per overcapped fire res to Time Rot instead of Ignite. Mage. Primalist. Acolyte. Bug fixes. There's a lot. Fixed an issue where the character would slide after using a movement ability on the green portal. Shrine buffs now correctly get removed in the Shade of Orbis. Fixed an issue where some characters would fail to be able to start a dungeon. Fixed an issue where under certain circumstances using the respawn button while in the arena would not remove the death screen. Fixed a bug where dying in hardcore would result in Weaver Tree points loss. Oh no. Oh, there's so many bug fixes. This is awesome. I don't want to read all these. Fixed above bug where Crystal Core offhand catalyst would sometimes shift. Okay, guys, that is the patch, and believe me, that is the reduced patch. I skipped large portions of this. Because I didn't feel like it was relevant. I figured if you guys are clicking on the video or checking out my stream or just, stumbling in here, I'm a big Sentinel guy, so obviously anything Sentinel, I was like, there is so much. Okay, so one thing I need to point out, be aware, this is not 87 pages of, it's like 8 pages of text. The other pages that make up this post is everybody's comments. Yeah. All right. Let me close this down. So what did you guys think? That was a lot. My throat's kind of tired. They did a good job with that. Oh, okay. Yeah. Speaking of bleed, so normally I like to use normally I like to, maybe it's been updated. No, it doesn't look like it. So normally I like to use last Epoch tools, but for this one, I put together like kind of a quick thing, simply because max roll had, I don't really use max roll. Nothing wrong with max roll personally. I don't normally use max roll planers. Maybe I should, but I'm really used to the last Epoch tools. So since they already have these items in here, I decided I would use that. Plus it's all updated. So I put this one together right here. So this is what I'm thinking. All right, this is what I'm thinking. I could see a world where we use a two-handed weapon. You'll check out the new guide. I'm going to be recording it on Sunday. Some nerfs to Sentinel build, sad but expected. Thankfully, it seems to have hit the most OP. You keep going back and forth. You have no idea what you're playing. Well, I'm definitely playing Bleed Hammers. Bleed Hammers did not get touched whatsoever. The only thing that did get touched on Bleed Hammers would be the block effectiveness. All right, the only thing that got touched is the block effectiveness on these idols. That's it. Otherwise, we're fine. All right, so yeah. Other than that, we're fine. So far, everything looks all right. Now, the only thing I can think of to really buckle down, probably Primalist, I'm interested in Zoo. Necro Lich Warlock got a huge buff with all the ailment and bleed stuff. I'm not going Necro because my friend is playing Necro. That makes sense. Yeah, Big B. Some nerfs to Sentinel builds, but for the most part, I think most of the more Hammers is fine, Smite is fine, Judgment and Erasing Strike I think got affected, but I think Erasing Strike will be fine. You see Scorpion can drop Avalanche and use Maelstrom. I did not. I kind of just floated through those. So one thing I'm kind of going back and forth on is whether or not I want to use Abyssal Echoes, because it's going to require a 10-point investment. I'm also interested in using Smelter's Might, because with the gloves, with the carry-on of creation, we convert Ignite, Frostbite, Shock, Time Rot, all that good stuff to bleed chance. I'm wondering, is this worth it with a one-hander? Because essentially we're investing for that 70, like we would get the 70% bleed chance, but it's 140% bleed chance. Electrified Javelin got by too. Yeah, but the thing about Electrified Javelin, in my opinion, at least the way I played it, it was held back by the fact that eventually you would get to like 800 corruption, and even though you do a ton of damage, you would just die. I'm thinking I want to take Abyssal Echoes because I want to have the ability in Abyssal Echoes to pop. Right? Abyssal Echoes initial burst consumes all stacks of bleed on the enemy. I want to consume all the stacks with Sanguine Eruption. This did not get touched at all. So we're going to be able to get an easy 20% damage buff, 20% more damage buff, an easy 20% attack speed buff. So the idea is you pop Abyssal Echoes, whatever bleed stacks are already on there, consumed. But for the next about 5 seconds, we try and inflict as many bleed stacks as possible on the target. we try and hit them with as much as we can. And then we consume the bleed stacks again. Right? So we hit them the first time, even if they got a couple bleed stacks, we consume that, but then we apply these debuffs. Right? Damage over time. We apply these, and then we apply a bunch of bleed real quick, and then we consume it just to get all that damage right up. And then we're, in essence, refreshing Embrace the Darkness and Crumbling nodes. And then bam, 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 bam. Are you going chain or swirling? So, personally, I want to do swirling, but, right? But, here, let me get in game. I have been practicing with chain. Because here's the thing about chain. You're going to be able to apply more damage with chain than swirling. The main reason why I would advocate for Vortex over chain was you had a lot more chances to apply bleed stacks. The thing is, we're going to have insane chance to bleed out the wazoo. So if we already have a super high chance to bleed, would we want every bleed stack to, you know, like do more damage? That's what we're going to get with chain, right? Not the wazoo. So the way we have it set up right now, I am missing one point. It would be right here on Force of Impact. What I'm about to try right now, you guys are going to call me crazy, but what I'm about to try right now is doing chain and spiral at the same time. I know that's a nerf to chain hammers, but I don't know if it works. I've never tried it. So don't spoil the ending. I want to know if it works or not. I've never tried doing chain and spiral. See, like, we throw a ton. Like I'm applying good bleed right now as it is. I just feel like if you get surrounded by enemies, it might be kind of rough, but it looks cool, and it's not bad. How far away are we? Oh my god. This is going to take forever. Where's the big anime titties? Happy birthday, Fiction. We just got done. Hey, Luna. How you doing? Welcome back. We were just reading patch notes. Welcome on in, everybody. We just finished up reading the patch notes. A lot of changes. Now we're kind of going over what I'm going to be playing on. Hey, man, how are you? I'm doing great, thank you. Love the look of hammer swirling around, though. Oh, yeah, I agree. Glad I'm doing great. Yeah. Thank you, Luna. How are you doing? Okay, yeah, this feels kind of pathetic right now. Okay, we're almost there, chat. We just got to kill some more stuff. Okay, you're currently job hunting. Oh, I feel you on that. I'm grateful to not. Happy birthday, Fiction. Hope you had a great day. It's about to be even better, man. As soon as this stream's over, man, we're hopping into Discord. We're firing up some games, and I'm busting open the bottle. Happy birthday, buddy. Yeah, till round. Somebody's going to gift me another sub, right? Oh, dude, what am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, shoot. What am I doing? Oh, hell yeah, Bab. Have fun and enjoy your buddy's birthday. Freaking traitor beat me to it. Thanks, Luna. Dude, thanks, Trader. I appreciate it. Dude, I was like about to click on his name, and then you beat me to it. Oh wait, yeah. This doesn't work. Oh, there it is. Okay, moment of truth. Can you do chain and spiral hammers? Long time no talk. Dude, Trader coming in hot, man. We just hit the big goal, and he gifted a sub to Luna. Thank you so much, Trader. I appreciate it. All right, let's see how bad is this. You thought it sucked? Yeah, because you lose the extra projectiles. And you can't throw more than one projectile at a time. What's weird, though, is it still pierces. It's overriding this node that says it cannot pierce. That's a lot of damage on the projectile. Yeah, dude, it's actually... Yeah, but it's not chaining.
No, that's a lot of damage!
That's right. Huh. Yeah, no chains. That would be amazing. And then it was shite. Okay. Well, I'm not going to lie. I would probably, like you're saying, Gorsh, I think I would just rather spec into, like, regular good old spiral anyway. The reason why I was practicing with chain hammers was because I got a lot of not pushback, but I got a lot of I liked it. I didn't like the fact that the hammers despawned on walls. I moved to a different build. Thanks for everything. You know, it was a lot of. You didn't see chains. No, it does. Yeah, it's not chaining at all. It's not chaining on all on the spiral. Yeah, but I got a lot of those. Yeah, I moved to a different build after I saw that all my hammers were despawning on objects. So what I'm doing right here is I'm doing the chain hammers as an alternative. Yeah, that's better. You just do this or the other one. Yeah, you do this or the other one. Like that's it. Yeah, don't try and do both at the same time. Thank you so much for the hype train, guys. All right. Choo choo. There's one more option. How I've been having fun. Oh, Criskin coming in with the 5 bomb. Thank you so much, which I found pretty interesting. Sorry, hype train. Yeah, I have had fun, Luna. You can check out some of them that I put down there. They were pretty fun. Thank you so much for the 5 bomb. What's that, Gorsh? What's the and one more thing? Yeah. We animated that guy for you. The one that shoots out all in all directions? Yeah, this one. Oh, use that one for bleed? Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah. Hey, is Immortalized gonna come play season 3 of Last Epoch, or is he on the Diablo 4 train? Oh, we're almost there. Okay, now this is what I'm curious about. Oh, yeah, yeah. With PoE 2 right around the corner. At the same time, yeah, I saw that. Okay, so I think I know what's going on. So, Gorsh, the reason why it's not chaining, because it can't, but you notice the hammers didn't despawn, right? Because they can't pierce. I guess if your hammers can chain, they can still pierce, maybe for like a couple hits, and then they despawn. That might be what's going on, because now I'm playing with just the node where they disappear. Yeah, not being able to pierce. Well, you gotta go. Yeah, catch you later, Luna. Appreciate it. Thank you. How much does this cost right now? 4? Way better. Time to drink? Yeah, we're almost there. Catch up, dude? Yeah. Oh, it's time for me to drink ketchup? Yeah. My Brewers won again tonight. Wild time to be a small market fan. Hey, congratulations, bro. Wrong one. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you so much for being here. If you're over here on Twitch, I'm going to send you over towards the Curse. He is checking out the patch notes as well. Very knowledgeable guy. Ask him a lot of questions, all right? Ask him a lot of questions. The Curse, he's an OG, man. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. I'll be back again tomorrow. We'll be going over some more, theory-crafted Bleed Hammer builds. I got some partying to do. So you guys take care. Peace out. Ask too many questions, honestly. Yeah. YouTube, thank you so much for being here, guys. Sadly, I can't send you over towards Curse. You guys take care. Peace out.